Welcome back, everyone. This is Zade. We are back on the Hypermine Feed the Beast Infinity Evolved server, and I'm just climbing up here to the top, to the ground level, back to where the sun shines, to take a peek down into our hole here. I wanted to see the pattern. You can see it is not the same as it was looking in the last video. It is the same blocks, but they are chiseled differently. I didn't like the way the pattern was turning out as I got it more filled in, and so I started like, oh, I'll change this, but now that doesn't look good, I'll change this, now I'll change this. I kind of like this. I think this will work. And let's run down and show you. So far, the entire area that you're seeing down there, I've only used 3 blocks, 3 different blocks. So this is pretty cool. And those 3 blocks include the light source. I have been considering possibly, by the way, instead of only using cobblestone, dirt, oak wood, I may expand it to any other object that I end up getting in bulk if I just happen to have it. Eventually maybe we can add some highlights, so that will probably include things like marble and limestone. They're both blocks added by Chisel, and these, I've got all of this just from the turtle digging this hole out. So we're not going to do anything that you have to work for, at least for now. I guess maybe we could expand that to netherrack. That could get crazy. We'll see. Well, let's go look out here at what we have. So this entire floor, all of these different blocks, you're seeing this more kind of brick-like block, the bordered square, the different colored cobblestones. This is all chiseled cobblestone, which has been cut in half to make half slabs using the forge microblocks. The walls are all cobblestone as well, other than this here. These are oak wood planks that have been chiseled to kind of make a nice pillar, and our light sources, which are right here, and we're putting them in the ground. So I am going to show you what I've chosen to use for light sources. I wanted to use forge microblocks for light, just because the ability to basically take one block and turn it into like 16 light sources is really cool. And I was going to use something like glowstone, for example, but glowstone, you've got to run around through the nether and farm it all, and that's the theme of our build. That's what we're trying to avoid. We're trying to use those really simple starter blocks that people just have way too much of, like cobblestone and oak wood and maybe even dirt if we can get some of that in there. So glowstone doesn't completely fit that. Most people, when they start off, they're using torches, so we can use some torches. As you can see, these candles, these lanterns, those are all chiseled torches, so that's an option. But with modded, I also want to incorporate some other options, and so the one that I have chosen is lava stone. So lava stone is made by just taking a bucket of lava and surrounding it by stone. That gives you 8 lava stones, as we have here, and keep your bucket. Now with that lava stone, it will give off light just like lava or a torch or everything. Anywhere. There's no really dark around here. I guess I can't really look. Well, it's kind of dark out here. It's nighttime. So you can see kind of how dark it is here. Boop. That's definitely giving off light. The normal blocks, even a lot of them bubble actually like lava was coming out of them, which is pretty cool. So we can do some stuff with that if we want. But it also can be chiseled into all of these different blocks. So that actually gives us the option for a whole variety of different lighting blocks, depending on what it's being used around. For example, with some black, you could potentially stick in something like this, maybe around some black cobblestone or even some coal blocks, things like that, and add just a design which would give you light. In this case, I want these to spread farther than just the 8, so what we're actually doing in the floor, which I've just been getting started on. Which block did I use right here? I believe... Is it this one? I think it was this one. So these are also capable of being cut up by Forge Microblocks. And each individual piece, no matter how small you cut it, is going to give off light just like the full block. Now, in the case of lava stone, you can see it actually kills the lava texture itself, and they end up kind of with this ethereal look. So I found that some of the ones that I like the look of more as a full block don't necessarily cut down as nice. But I've chosen, we're going to use these, and all I'm doing, let me get some more of this other cobblestone. Let's just turn a whole stack into, I believe I was just using this black stone, and all I'm doing for the light in the floor, of course this entire area is going to be half slab, so we don't have to actually worry about light, so this is all purely for effect. We're just going to slap some dark underneath there. I was going to try to get more done before this episode, but unfortunately my job has been insane this week. Crazy snowstorm has made work very, very busy. Cover that and that. And I'm actually on track to get a ridiculous amount of overtime this week. And on top of that, I've also been trying to redo my rental house because my tenants just moved out. So we checked this out. The black underneath is just, I think it looked nicer than random stuff. It kind of blends into the floor, as you can see, and it's going to give the room a nice little glow there. So let's go ahead and install the other 4 of these. My tenants just moved out, and I thought it was going to be a super easy, just kind of go in. Why am I hearing a slime? It must be in the hallway over here. I thought it was going to be really easy, just go in and clean it up, get the next tenants available. It turns out, by the way, this little portal room of mine is also a slime chunk, which sucks. I'm going to have to do a lot of slabbing even in these kind of old temporary tunnels and different things like that. It's so great. But anyway, I went in to check it out, see what I needed to clean, that sort of thing, and they apparently were gracious enough at some point in time to, they once informed me that they overflowed a toilet. Okay, now I don't know anybody else who ever hears the term a toilet overflowed is thinking like a little bit of water got on the floor. Okay, that's all I thought happened. They told me they cleaned it up. I didn't even think anything of it. They wanted a piece replaced in the toilet because they thought the valve had stuck and caused it. Yeah, it was old anyway, so I replaced it. It's like the easiest maintenance fix in a rental. They're like $10, no big deal. I didn't think anything of it, but when I went in, apparently, as it turns out, I don't want to dig a 9x9 there. 3x3, not 9x9. Yeah, there we go. As it turns out, no, it didn't overflow. They somehow managed to flood my house, and they damaged probably a third of the floor in the upstairs and part of the ceiling in the basement, and I now have to go in and do drywalling and probably replace the floor and paint half the house, and so that's really cool, on top of working all the overtime. So unfortunately we're keeping it pretty simple here, but that's okay because simple is our theme, right? So here's what we're doing in the walls. Let me just take you this. Here is our light source for the wall, just to give it a glow effect. And again, that's just lava stone. It's a different lava stone, I believe. Let's look here. I believe I am cutting down. Which one am I cutting down? I don't even remember. Does these have names? It's one of these. It was, I want to say, was it the bricks? I think it might have been the base lava stone. I don't remember. I can find out. Again, as I mentioned in the last episode, you can actually rebuild blocks. Let's see. This should be enough to show us. Nope. I need 4 more. You can rebuild blocks if you ever cut them up, so you never have to worry about that sort of thing. So I can look here. This here, So yeah, it's this more stony looking block. And all we're doing to get our light sources is every one block, which was just basically one piece of stone, is cut in half, cut in half, cut in half, either way. Actually, this way makes it more fine. I think, how fine can we get these actually? Is that as much as you can cut them? Okay, so you can actually cut them down smaller than I've been using them to this big. See that little tiny dot right there? That actually gives off light the same way the normal block does, which is really cool. So potentially every one block can become 32 lights if done that way. I'm using a slightly bigger one because I like the way they look. But all I'm doing is I've got this cobblestone here. I need some more of the orange. We're using orange cobblestone. And this is just, again, this is just this cobblestone right here. It's apparently called huge cobblestone tiles. Kind of has more of a concrete look. I kind of like it. It works good. We're just doing these squares there. Microblocks. We're cutting down the orange just into half slabs, just like we did on the floor. And then, of course, the cool thing about Forge Microblocks, which I really wish they would add to vanilla Minecraft, vertical half slabs. These are the greatest things in the world. So even though this whole wall is only one block deep, we can very simply give it some depth, which immediately increases how great our wall looks. And then we just take these little lava stone corners, we put one here and one here. I'm doing them just kind of the top of that layer and the bottom of that layer. And just like that, this whole area is going to have a glow to it. So even when we roof it off and everything, or at night or whatever, it's going to have a good little glow, and it'll give it some highlights basically. So again, vertical half slabs, and then we're just lighting the corners, which is really cool, really easy. It's very simple. Again, it's only one block deep, but we have depth. That's the coolest thing about Microblocks, is the ability to add depth in small areas. A lot of times to add depth in, especially like vanilla, you've got to go 2, 3, 4 layers deep, which means if you're building into a wall like this, you've got a lot more digging to do. Oops, I forgot the lights there. You've got a lot more digging to do if you're doing it outside. Like if this was just outdoorness over here instead, when we get up higher, you suddenly have to make the wall 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks deep, which changes the way you would design your entire building in some cases. Whereas with Microblocks, I can actually do this. I could add another layer easily. I could add one block. You know, you can cut these in half again. Let's just grab some. And with this, just to demonstrate, you know, coming into an area, let's just come to the end of this with this one block. You can actually have a cover that's only 1/4 of a block, and you can come through and actually create additional depth. You can combine them in different areas, so you could add like almost baseboard type things. Just with that one shape, you can add all kinds of depths, and that's without even getting into cutting these down skinnier. They can go to 1/8 of a block this way. You can cut them sideways, of course, and start getting these teeny little pillars. And if you know, you can start just like adding very simple trim and different things all the way around. I don't want to mess with it too much right now, you know, but you can add all kinds of very simple depth, all within the space of one block if you want. So that's really cool. I really love Microblocks. It's a great mod. Let's pull all this up. Looks like it combines them on the wall. That's fun. Yeah, and anyway, it allows you to do some really cool stuff. You don't have to worry about, oh, I cut it to a size I didn't want. No problem. Just put them back together. And voila. Yeah, so you can experiment, and then you don't have different issues like in vanilla. Sometimes you craft a bunch of stairs maybe, and then you put it on the wall, and you look at it, and you decide you don't like it. Well, now you're stuck with it, and you have all those stairs, and there's nothing you can do with them, so eventually it's like, yeah, you better find something to do with those stairs. In Microblocks, you don't like it, you put it back together. You can put it back into Chisel, chisel it to a completely different block. Very good stuff, very good stuff. And also, I was mentioning these two mods last time, but I was watching Ector's video on this server just yesterday, I think. And I actually realized there's an entirely additional mod that I was totally spacing and shouldn't have been. It's Carpenter's Blocks. Completely spaced it in the last episode. Carpenter's Blocks will probably definitely be putting to use at some point. Much like Microblocks, it basically allows us to build certain things in the same space, but it adds different things like so you can basically build the basic shapes if you haven't seen Carpenter's Blocks before, and then you put a block into it and it becomes that shape. But it has things like corner triangles, you can have these slanted slopes and different things. It also is going to let you change the looks of ladders and gates, doors, all kinds of cool stuff, stairs, everything like that. So things that maybe we couldn't chisel, we can still add to block types that they don't normally have. And we can also get slopes and different angles that you can't get from anything else. Dang, it's raining. That's alright. I think that's going to do it for us today. Let me know what you think of the pattern in the floor, if there's anything we can change there, what you think of the walls so far. I'm debating how tall I want this bottom layer to be. I think I might just duplicate this, possibly with a transition block down the center. If I can find something that looks good, have maybe, what do we have? Let's see. Give me this. There's plenty of gray options. Something like these, which would kind of combine together, which, by the way, messing around on the floor, at one point I think I said I was going to change a block to one of these because they link together. Cut in half microblocks don't seem to connect the textures, so that's one of the other reasons I changed it. But maybe we could do something like this and get like a transition strip down the middle, because these should, yeah, we might be able to do something like that around there, just one block deep, and then stack this exact shape on top of it one time and get a nice tall basement floor. I think that might be a good idea. And then we'll figure out something to do with the ceiling. We'll figure that out. We'll figure that out. Also, fun side note before I end the episode, I discovered using a bunch, as I was redoing the floor here, I made a fun discovery. Microblocks that have been cut down anywhere from a full block do not use up your tool's durability. I was using a basic diamond pickaxe. I stuck it over here somewhere because it was about to break. Nope, right there. I was using this pickaxe right here and just watching the durability on it, and I took up that entire floor and didn't lose a single piece of durability. So very, very interesting. You can use like a cobble pickaxe and it will last you for huge giant projects. If you're using Microblocks, it'll go a little slower. That one was finally breaking, so I made a normal Tinker's Construct pickaxe, just the same as these other tools, keeping it simple, stuff I have, just so that I have the ability to pick up one block at a time instead of a 3x3 area. But yeah, fun little note I found. I don't know, I'm guessing that's not fully intentional. I'm guessing it's just the way the mods and vanilla and different things play together, and they just can't figure out how to take durability from a half a block. But hey, you know what? I don't mind. Hey, pal. That might not be good. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. See you guys next time.